the summers, right? So I think at this juncture, I not got a lot left to say. Nothing changes. We just progress forward in the same path. Here's something I don't understand. People at large, the greater populace at large, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand people. Children, I get them. It's just hardware with no software. Yeah. You figure out the angle, top lob spin, how it is their brain tracks. It's interesting. The interesting thing about children is very rarely does wallop in a child, blister in a child's ass, as it were, get the result required or desired. Usually there's more subtle manipulations. Running laps, nose on a door, making them do things that require discipline, coordination, patience. It's not even for the sake of the task you require them to do, and even doing it correctly, but over time watching them perfect one menial task. Put your nose on the door, your hands to your side, your feet together. That's one of my little guy. One of his punishments when he's, being awful. By awful, I mean in everything, normal 4-year-old shit. But every now and again, they get sticky fingers, decide to go lift things that aren't theirs within the household, and it branches out to friends and family, and then it branches out to general public, then they're in juvie before you know it. We've got a lot of that going on. My discipline is waning, I know that. I've got discipline, I have to. I'm self-employed. But it's not where it used to be. It's not what it's not. I don't know. I gotta juggle, I gotta balance now. Before I was a horrific parent. A bad husband. And excellent at what I did. My discipline was top-notch to what I did professionally. And that's where all my senses and time management was honed, not at home. I don't have that drive I used to. I'm almost 40 fucking years old. But I don't have the drive I used to, and that bothers me. I've got to get that spark back. But, back to the subject, I get kids. There's only so many swerves to the thought process at young ages they can be. I've got 11, 8, my stepboy, he's 4, and a baby at home here. I get the older 2 Wednesdays and weekends. And I'm seeing a society of these adult 4-year-old minded children. As parents, this generation last failed somewhere along the line egregiously. I don't agree in abuse, and I get that. You don't have to knock a kid around and make them listen. But you have to teach them a certain manner of respect, self-respect. Self-respect's a big one. So if they respect themselves enough, they won't lower themselves to certain things. Discipline. Show them that hard work pays off. Show them that their efforts pay off. Show them that smart work pays off better. I'm watching this, and this all ties in. This all is relative to my banter, my rant for the day. This presidential race, this thing's a mess. You know, we've got people screaming about Black Panthers. We got people screaming about immigrants. We got over this shit. We got past this shit in the 50s. We're not Black Americans. We're not white Americans. We're Americans. And then we've got immigrants. We've got 2 whole generations of immigrants that come here and shit on what we are. Not all of them, not most of them, but there's those few that shit on what we have, what we are, who we are. There's no discipline. We've got generations of welfare committed. I'm not blaming the generations that are committed to the welfare system. I'm blaming the people that veered the system in that direction. We've got for-profit prison systems. For-profit prison isn't getting demonized. For-profit education is. For-profit education is getting demonized. And at this juncture, I see academia as primarily a cesspool for the fucking weak-minded, gimme generation. Here's my experience in college. I can go in and fuck off and drift through and get good marks. But when I got to welding school, when I started going through welding classes through the local area college, along with my business courses, the worst part is what had to be stated was the teachers, instructors said, if you come in for an ECA, get the fuck out now, leave. We don't want you here. You're not for this. This isn't for you. A C is dead average, professional, on a line welding. You're getting graded on your results strictly, period. Your attendance, that's just expected. You fuck that up, you're gone anyhow, regardless of where your marks are. That's where college education needs to be founded. C's dead average. C's a normal motherfucker. You, me, everyone else. C. Nothing wrong with that. But when we start elevating your D and C students to A and B averages just for the sake of them getting good marks because they can regurgitate what a textbook says, you're stealing their money, you're wasting their time, and you're wasting your time. And nobody apparently knows anything about fucking economics. You can tell me about the evils of capitalism and I'll point out to you why we no longer live in a capitalism. You know, it's a fucking corporate socialism anymore. And we were never truly a democracy. We were a republic. A republic. Democracy, if the majority votes, your shit is theirs. Your shit is theirs. In a republic, your efforts, your fruits, your labors are yours to do with as you please. The great emancipator, Mr. Lincoln, who didn't give a shit about slavery. It was nothing more than another political tool. And that's heartbreaking in and of itself. The concept of slavery should have been important enough by itself. But it was a side issue at best. It was just a political, economic tool. Destroyed the republic for which it stands. The real battle between the North and South was Federalists versus Confederate. Do the states retain their autonomous powers, or does the federal government lord over all and centralize power? We know how that worked out. So you can't give me shit about north, south, that either. That's been coming up lately. Alright, that's as political as I'm getting. I'm sorry. But I'm seeing a lot of lily-livered, whiny-ass kids out there that are, some of them in their 40s and 50s, but they're whiny-ass kids. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me. I'm embarrassed for our nation. I'm embarrassed for our people. I'm embarrassed for the fucking world. Because everywhere is going through this right now. We're not far from that tipping point where the ballot box is no longer valid. The ammo box will be the next choice. And that's fucking pathetic. We've lowered ourselves to this. But as far as shop and work and whatnot goes, I'm just plugging away. We've got a full house in the shop. We're racking them up solid. We got one dude that looks less than thrilled to be there, and his production shows. So I gotta decide whether or not to work them next week. If I don't work them next week, do I bring someone else in? I got enough to do for a couple weeks that I ought to bring someone else in. So I'm gonna make a couple calls on Monday, see what I can do. Going from there, got some rust repair and I'll get photos up. The bug, oh my god, the bug is close, so fucking close. I gotta move it around on the chassis and check a couple measurements, and then from there, welding some strips on the rocker panels that grab the carpet and straighten out the roof line. Then I can put her in primer. I can do the roof rack after initial sealer primer, and I think that's what I'm going to do. But we're creeping in, we're crawling in on that. I gotta get gas for the forklift because I ran out yesterday when I was working. I'm using it to hold up the bed of a pickup truck I'm doing rust repair on. I'm getting the spark back slowly, I guess. I got to talk to a gentleman who's been playing the same game since 1978. I was still shitting my pants in 1978 and chewing on a pacifier. And it's funny, you come into contact with people that's like, what an ass. And a little time passes and you end up rubbing in the same circles, and then one, and it's like, this dude isn't terrible and too bad, kind of annoys me, but not terrible. Then you start finding out that person's story and their history, and then it makes more sense. I get this dude now, and I'm actually doing a spot of work for him because he's got to move his shop, and he's got to get some of these projects done, some things done before he moves, clearly. And it's work for us. It's money. It's cash flow, and so I work the guys. It's kind of nice. But actually meeting other people, they're doing what I'm doing. I'm like, this is what I got going on. It's happened a couple times. You're not doing bad, kid. You're doing it. You're surviving. You're making it. You're doing it. You're not doing bad. So I don't fucking feel like I'm doing too good. So yeah, I remember my first 5 years. It was ugly. So there we go. I'm in the first 5 years. I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere, forward or backward. I haven't gone anywhere. But I've held on. I've held my ground, and I've put that foundation under me. Political rant over in the shop. Like I said, we got a lot going on. I'm behind everywhere. Working by myself doesn't cut it. Working with a team, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Do I push the team, bring in extra help, get the shop wheedled down to nothing, and let everybody go? Is that the answer? I don't think it is. I don't want it to be. I think you just got to find the right guys, the right people. I found one guy that would be the right people. If I could get him trained up on what's going on, what he's doing. If I could go cut this rust out and weld the new panels. And he's a year and a half, 2 years away from that. What does he do in the meantime? Not make a living wage, not make a, as far as an apprentice helper's wage. That money's not very good for a grown-ass man. I taught the fucker the finesse circumstances of framing, siding, roofing. Pretty sure I can teach him this. Because in a lot of ways, framing up a house is harder than building a car. Especially a car that you can go and order parts for. We got dropped a bunch of square wood and told them to build round shit. Here's the picture. Believe in yourself, folks. Believe in your own labors, mental and physical. Believe in what you have to offer. And don't fall prey to all this political pandering going on in our society today. There are more weak out there than there are strong, but the weak won't win. They can't, historically speaking. When a society in and of itself grows too weak as a whole, invaders conquer. My question is that what we're staring down the barrel of now? Are the invaders conquering? Rome fell in a day. I don't believe America will fall in a day. I think it's just going to be a steady decline to something less. Here's to bureaucracy. I'm going to get off my political soapbox. Thing is, inner strength and inner peace go hand in hand. Discipline works well with those. Without those things, we wouldn't have made this country what it is. Without the doers, we wouldn't have made this country what it is. When you strip away the reason for the labor, when you strip away the reward for hard work and give it to someone else, the rest of the population will catch on. There's no more reason to work. Everyone will become dependents. Anytime you tip the scales at over half the population being takers, not doers, you'll collapse. And by the way, our unemployment's way higher than 5%.